Magandang araw mga kapatid, ako po si Nikki de Guzman. Guzman, Pilipinas Weekend.
My guest for this episode is renowned news anchor Nikki de Guzman. I hope you take something from this very casual conversation. Thank you. So, good afternoon, Nikki. Can I call you Nikki? Sige.
I'm Nikki to everyone now, apparently.
Yeah, so thank you for doing this. So, just was curious about your career kasi I bumped into you sa auto show. So, what made you decide to venture into media?
Media per se. Yeah, because that's where I met Michael.
Yeah,
It was
very
an
random sa auto show.
Yeah, auto show. And yet I'm not even into cars. It just so happened na I host this show. I used to host this show with ANC na it was about cars and everything else that dudes collect. But then I had to be the one present for the auto show. So that's when I met you. So the question was how I ended up here, right?
Yeah, a bit of your background because I always see you syempre, on TV as an anchor. So how did you get
Pretty
into
random. I applied as PA. But my very first job, the very first job I landed was the anchoring thing. So I'll always be eternally grateful to ABS-CBN and ANC per se for that matter. But I started out, let's rewind a few years back. Back when I was in college, I had to send myself to school. So I did all these side jobs. I tried makeup artistry. I tried a little bit of pageantry. I tried singing, but mostly I tried commercial modeling.
For which brands?
I suppose I can mention them now. I did Careline, Palmolive, basically the Teen Z brands, Juicy Cologne with Catherine Bernardo. But I did those mostly to send myself to school. I had no ambitions of being an artista or anything of the like, being on camera most of the time. But then my mom was also in that industry, so it was pretty easy to enter for me. And then from that, after graduating from UP, I was the kind of person who didn't know what I wanted to do. I really had no idea.
So you were a bum for a while, or?
No, I wanted to earn agad.
Oh,
because I really wanted, because I tried to help out with the finances of the house. So, I was also the type who did not know what kind of course I would take. So I took this course that's only available in UP Manila. It's called Organizational Communication. Basically, it's what you get when you're unsure. Do you want to go into media or you want to go corporate? So it's right there in the middle. For those people who don't know what they want to do in life, i.e. me. So after graduating, I sent out applications to literally any company quite near my house. And the first one to respond was ABS. But when you apply, kasi, you can't really choose your position. Of course, entry-level positions lang yung offered. So basically, there was PA for news and PA for entertainment. And I had to choose. So I was thinking, I think PA for news would be a little more focused. That's how I got into news. So there were a series of tests. Would you believe one of the tests was this 45-minute timed exam siya with algebra, with science, little bit of science, lots of English, lots of grammar, some abstract. It was like an entrance exam all over again. And I was taking this as an entry for the company. So it was so weird. Anyway, so after that exam, there were also a series of interviews, first with the HR, and then with a supervisor, and then finally to the, I would say, one of the big bosses of ANC, of the news department I wanted to be a PA in. And during the interview, he asked me, what would be your biggest goal, your end goal
Mm.
here, if I hire you as a PA? And I thought, since I'm also into news, um, I've never wanted to be a news anchor or journalist, but I've always been into news, probably because it comes with the fact that you're from UP, that you make sure that you're quite aware
But
of
what was
everything
your
that's
course?
it's organizational communication. That's the formal name. Basically, it's business comm.
Okay.
You can go into communications, you can go into media, you can go into corporate. So it's up to you. Lots of job opportunities. That's the only reason I took that course. Then, ayun nga, after the interview, I just told the head that maybe the end goal here would be to be one, a high-level producer in news, or to be a news anchor.
Mhm.
And then that very moment, ang sabi ng boss, you know what? This very moment, next door, we're having auditions. Come back and then you go there. You go there, you audition, and you just give it a go. And of course, I was worried kasi I did not have any prior
Mm.
experience in newscasting per se. I just know I'm comfortable in front of a camera. I've never been camera shy. But because siguro added na rin yung experience with commercial modeling during my college years. But that was all. And then when I got there, it was the very first time I saw a teleprompter. Sabi ko, ganun pala yun, baliktad yung words. Tapos, it was the very first time na I've been inside a studio, saw cameras like this, and then I was asked to do a mock interview. Francis Tolentino is on the line. What do you ask him? Stuff like that. And then after 30 minutes, after the screen test, tapos na. Okay, exit the room. And then I didn't hear from ABS for about more than a month. So I totally thought, it's okay, because I didn't apply for that. I applied for a PA job.
Yeah.
It's all I was actually worried about, because I did want to earn agad. So, hindi na ako nahiya. I actually messaged the HR. I go, hello, my name's Nikki. I applied. I used my formal name, Mary Nico. My name's Mary. I applied a month ago, and I just like to check on my application as a PA. And then I was told na, because we're not processing your application for PA anymore. You've been hired as an anchor. I was like, what? And apparently, it was taking time daw because they were still waiting for the 6 big bosses of ABS-CBN. So there's Jing Reyes, Carlo Hatigbak, Cory Vidanes, to sign the contract.
Yeah.
And they were all on leave. That's
Lahat,
why
okay.
it was taking quite a while. So sabi ko, ay, okay lang. No rush, no rush. But from then on, dun na nag-start. And then I found myself a news anchor as my first job. Yun na
So
nag-start.
it was a walk in the park for you. It came
I would
natural.
I would not say na
Not
nahirapan
much
ako.
adjustments.
Yeah, not so much.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe God is good to me because I didn't know what I wanted to do. But it's like He showed me na this is the path you take because this one's for you. And I've been in
Okay.
newscasting for 5 years now. Very recently, just October 10, I resigned from ABS-CBN. I am now with Kapatid, TV5. Ayun, so
What led to your resignation? What was the
lots of
sole
factors,
reason?
but mostly, I'll always be a kapamilya at heart, you know. They all know this. It's just the room for growth. You know, I just saw way more opportunity for growth with TV5, knowing very well what happened to ABS-CBN na rin, diba? The franchise closure that came sabay sa pandemic. But mostly it was that. But I've always loved my ABS-CBN family.
So what are your expectations now sa TV5?
Okay,
What do you look forward to?
expectations. Well, right now, what they're having me do is the weekend newscast, which is Frontline Pilipinas Weekend. I think it's the first time in many, many years that they launched a newscast for the weekend. It was always just a replay of game shows. So
Yeah.
first time na they did this. And I'm looking forward to a daily show maybe because I only work weekends. So weekdays I'm just
So mas
know,
stress ka
chill.
sa time mo in ABS. It was
During my
more,
time with ABS, I worked 6 days a week.
and
With
now,
TV5, just twice a week. But then the trade off is that I don't have my weekends anymore because I work Saturday, Sunday. Ayun.
yeah. I'm just curious, profession mo. Do you still get nervous, like before you go live
Nervous.
every
Siguro
night?
every time
or-
they have me do something new. But that's usually just once. As long as after I do it once, I'm okay doing it na for a second time. It's, you know what they say, parang you just have to try it once and hindi ka na ganun katakot kasi magkamali ka man, you know na okay, so this is what's gonna happen if it all goes to, you know.
What's the most challenging part of being an anchor, or worst time mo as an anchor?
As good, it's also, well, you have to prepare, but mostly it's because everything is live. I also used to do this show with ANC nga, Rev. That one as a program host. So with shows like that, you get to have take twos, take threes, take fours, and then they always, you know, the directors, the producers of the show always make you look good on camera. Whereas when you're broadcasting live during news, that's all on you.
Yeah.
So if you make a mistake, it's gonna be there forever.
Siguro we can delve a bit more on your childhood. Siguro, what was it like growing up? Are you from Manila ba talaga? Anong
My entire
background
life,
ng parents mo?
my entire
Yeah.
life, I've lived in Santa Mesa. Yeah, Santa Mesa. Okay, my mom used to be a commercial model. I think she was in the business for 18 years before she got sick. My mom's a cancer survivor. Just last year, yung battle niya, she lost a limb and most of her lower abdominal organs, but she's alive right now and we're okay. My father is a company doctor. So, yun, in the various companies, yun, parang once a day per week, dun siya, different companies. And then I have two siblings, both younger than me. One still in school, one just graduated. Mostly, what do I do? I'm a homebody. I don't always go out. Pretty much, I stay at home. I watch a lot of TV. I read a lot. And I love toys. I'm pretty sure dadaanan mo yun. So,
Yeah, I think I noticed a few of your vlogs,
Mhm.
like focused on toys. When did that fascination begin?
Oh, way back. As a grade school student, I think.
Who
Basically, it's
influenced
because-
you? Yung
It
dad
was
mo?
my dad. Because I grew up in a house na my dad was a big geek. But he was a kind who was into books and comic books. So he had me read those and then transitioned into the animated the cartoons na Justice League, Spider-Man, X-Men. And then from there, siguro yung generation gap, it translated into toys for me. So I got the geeky part, but not so much the comic books. I do read comic books, but my focus of the geekiness became toys. Me and my brother. So we live quite near Green Hills. So if you're familiar with Green Hills, Shopsville, it's like toy haven there. That's where I first bought my very first action figure. She's Poison Ivy. And then from there, ayun na, nagsimula na. Siyempre, as you grow old, nag-upgrade din yung mga collections mo. So yun.
So your house must be full of toys.
Yeah, I have an Excel file of my toys. It has exceeded 1,000 plus na rin talaga
Wow.
for the figures. We just have this Excel file just to make sure na walang doble.
May favorite ka ba? Like DC or Marvel?
Okay. Mas DC ako.
DC.
Probably because of the comic book background. Because I love Marvel, lalo na the MCU, the cinematic universe. But if you come from from comic books, I don't know, I just really like the storylines better. I don't wanna talk bad about Marvel, but mas gusto ko talaga yung storylines na
You mean
DC
in
sa
terms of
books.
substance or
Yes, and maybe
depth?
because I'm not into, I prefer dark, gritty storylines, which DC has more of as compared to Marvel. So yeah, that's why
Okay.
I'm a Batman person.
Yeah, I
You can't
noticed.
already tell. Mm.
Okay. Sige, what about future plans? Do you see yourself as an anchor pa for in the succeeding years?
When I was first hired as a news anchor, I told my family, I'm gonna die and news anchor. I'm not gonna stop. I'll be working until I'm 70, until I can still work. So yeah, that's the hope, to stay in the industry for as long as I can. And see, I would also say that I don't know where I'd be if I weren't an anchor.
But if you had other choices for other industries, what would you choose?
I'd have wild answers for that. I'm always asked, if you weren't an anchor, what would Nikki de Guzman be? I always have wild answers, like a paleontologist maybe.
Yeah, talaga? Dinosaurs?
Dinosaurs, because I like fossils and I'm pretty nerdy. Yeah, maybe somewhere in a museum, stuff like that. Yeah, weird as mga career.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
So back when you were a student, you were a straight A type honor student.
I wasn't the type. I wasn't the studious type, but I always.
But you excelled.
I always. I never had a hard time.
Okay.
Like maybe we could say I kind of breezed through my college life, yeah. But I also wasn't the type who pushed myself. So even my parents, they would tell me na, if you had pushed yourself, maybe you'd even be a magna or summa cum laude, not just cum laude, like that. But then that's just fine, as long as, because I don't like being stressed as a person. Parang as soon as I'm stressed, okay, I'm gonna chill out for a while, but I'm not stressed. Good. So that translated into my my ACADS then. I just make sure I'm not that stressed.
Okay. What do you do in your spare time aside from, of course, your usual job?
Okay.
Series ba or books?
'Cause you gotta
Or sports?
keep
Sports?
up with the geeky stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
sports! I'm not at all sporty. Not at all. Nakakatawa. During sports fest, the sports I do would be chess.
Pero what about gym or cardio or kahit
Would you believe
workout?
I have never been inside a gym? Never.
Never.
And then my mom would say na, wait till you're 30, you're gonna need it.
Kahit treadmill or running.
Well, I've run on a treadmill, but yun lang, like once, twice, my entire life because I wanted to try it and it looked cool and fun.
Okay.
And that's all.
Sige. Sa series, do you watch like K-drama or
K-drama, not so much. I'm not into romance things.
like mga Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones? Mga
Game of
ganun.
Thrones. I like period pieces, medieval fantasy, and then the geeky stuff. Mostly the geeky stuff. If you can, basta anything you could connect to being geeky, I probably watch that show.
What about movies?
Movies, ganun din. Anything, I'm usually invited to these movie premieres, but I haven't been attending na rin lately. I guess the newest one I've attended, the latest one is Oppenheimer. I was invited there. Thank you so much.
More on Hollywood? Or
Yes,
do you
more on
also
Hollywood.
like mga Tagalog films?
Not so much because I noticed kasi, but I appreciate how the Filipino movie industry is trying to
I think nag-step up naman lately.
that's
It's much
step up
better.
from the romantic rom-coms
The
lagi.
typical plots,
kasi
diba?
there's
It's very repetitive
There's
na.
so many years of just that Paiba-iba lang ng love team.
Yeah.
And then I noticed even yung mga romantic movies nila that are supposed to be yun nga, rom-coms, iba na rin yung ending. Sometimes they don't end up together. And then the situations they're in are more real life. Not so much the not so much through rose-colored lenses anymore yung mga shows, which I really appreciate. I do try. I watch naman. This is just not like my thing,
Yeah,
but yeah, they're good. They're good.
What about classic films like mga Gone with the Wind, ganun,
Yeah, my father
Casablanca,
makes me watch them. Kasi
or
my
Audrey
dad
Hepburn, or all
Kasi
that.
my dad is yun nga, a geek. In the olden times, joke lang. But yeah, mga ganon. James Bond,
Yung mga
lahat.
60s na,
Yeah,
may
yeah, yeah.
Sean Connery.
Ganon. And then, yeah, his most favorite movie is An Affair to Remember because my dad's a sucker for romantic
Cary Grant?
films. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yan, mga ganon. So I did watch them. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe delving more into your personal life. May love life or seeing someone or dating ba?
Bakit may ganyan, Tito Boy? Tito Boy, I'm not ready. Well, yeah, there's someone I'm seeing, but that's basically it. It's hard to juggle kasi they work and lalo na, maybe now I'd have a little more time for myself because I'd only work twice a week starting this week.
Mas may balance na siguro.
Yeah, meron na.
Work-life balance.
I'm free na ng weekdays ko. Kasi before, I work na 6 days a week. So, I only have my Sundays. And my Sundays, I just sleep at home. So,
Okay.
yun ang life ko. My life was work then. But at least now I have more time.
Okay. What's your philosophy in life? Like, how do you see the world?
I suppose I'd say I'm a stoic. Because I always maintain that thought na it'll be okay. The worst that could happen still isn't gonna kill you. And if it does, it's okay. Parang I always look at, di ko alam how other people would think about it. Pero sometimes I look at us as just specks of dust in the universe. You're here for a limited amount of time. You get the chance to do whatever it is you want to do and hopefully help out either other people or lots of other people during your time here. But then, lahat naman tayo, isa lang ang pupuntahan. We're all gonna die at some point.
Yeah.
And then, everything else is nothingness.
Why do you think there's so much chaos and suffering in the world? I mean, you're an anchor, so of course you report a lot of bad news also.
It's human nature, sadly. Because during that small amount of time nga that we have, we try to have as much as we can have at the expense of others. Ako naman, that's always what I say. Life is already hard as it is. Make sure that at the very least, hindi ka magpapahirap ng iba. That you're not making life harder for other people. Diba? That's all. I mean, at the very least you can do. Make sure that you're not making it harder for anyone else out there.
So every day when you wake up, you're motivated. Every morning.
I wouldn't say motivated. I'm the kind of person who just looks at life as, well, I have this amount of time. And
so you make the most of it.
Yes, and when I say make the most, I also take into account that different people have different aspects, different interpretations of what make the most out of life is. For example, a parent would say, it is a life well lived just to be loved so much by your child, right? And then some person would say, no, I mean, life is just every day improving, every day. Kasi ang goal mo is to become a higher supervisor. No, different people, different priorities in life, different people, different wants in life. So if a fulfilling life to you is just having a chill life, that's all right, as long as you're not stepping on anyone. That's the one rule I have. As long as hindi ka nagpapahirap
stepping
ng
on
iba.
Others to get ahead.
Yeah, that's all. Because life is already hard as it is.
Okay. I'm curious, what are your religious or spiritual views?
Well,
Do you believe in God, or are you a deist, or
I'm from UP, but I'm not atheist. I was raised a Catholic naman ever since I was born. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm religious per se. Because I don't always, I prefer to talk to God. I'm not the
Personal
kind
relationship.
Yes. I don't always pray the rosary or these written memorized prayers. I'm the
Mm-mm.
kind who talks to him every day. Yeah, because I believe there's a God. I mean, also, I feel like, because I had this professor in UP who every single day would question the existence of God.
Existentialist.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was an atheist, and we often say that there's utterly no proof out there that God is present, di ba? Like, zero proof. And ako naman, I would always say na in all things, I look for proof except my faith. That's why it's called faith. You're supposed to be blind about it. Why do you need proof? And that's the entire opposite of faith. You have to have faith in something that you don't see, that you don't touch. That's why it's called faith.
Yeah. But I think there's faith that's objective and intelligible naman.
Mm-hmm. So
With basis.
the
Faith with
intelligible,
basis.
the tangible stuff,
Yeah.
I'll apply to everything else. The logic, the reason, but not to my faith. Because kaya nga siya faith.
Okay. So how's your faith?
My faith is still strong, even after everything that happened. Um,
So you mean you were let down in the past because of
oh
some
yeah,
turmoil?
because of what happened to my mom. It was the hardest part of my life, and it all just happened last year. But then, I don't believe that everything happens for a reason, though. Um, I feel like some things just happen, and we are not meant to understand why. Because some really bad things happen, and you can't tell that person, this thing happened to you for a reason. No.
Or mga, it's gonna
No.
be okay when you don't know it's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
May
so
ganon.
no, there are just some things that happen that you don't understand why. And you know what? Life goes on.
Okay. But are you leaning more towards Christianity or any particular religion, or
Well,
like what are your thoughts
I'm not
on Jesus Christ?
religious per se. It's just I believe in God, and since I was raised in Catholic, yeah, I believe in Jesus Christ. But I've always believed that as long as you have this figure of God and you use that idea of a God to make yourself a better person, then we're all friends here. Then walang ano dyan, walang kailangan pag-usapan na religion.
Your siblings, what do they do for a
Okay, so
living?
my youngest sibling, she's a girl. She's still in senior high? Senior high, yeah. Pinag-aaral pa namin siya. Then my second, the one next, the one who followed me is a guy. So we have one guy, the middle child. He graduated about a year ago or 2 years ago. He's in Tarlac. That's where he's based. Ano naman, Rubisco supervisor pala. District Supervisor of Tarlac Rubisco. Yun ang kanyang position. I don't really know what he does, but he tells me that in a nutshell, he makes sure the stocks are complete.
Any thoughts about showbiz or being an artista?
Actually, lagi ako tinatanong before na gusto ko daw mag-artista. Sabi ko,
But you tried before acting in a few
I did, but only
TV
because
shows.
I needed the money. I never believed that it would propel me to one day become a celebrity. It was easy money kasi for me. Even the pageantry thing, I never believed that by joining this small-time pageant, I'd be one day binibining Pilipinas. It was never the dream. I just really needed the easy money. And there were pageants out there that I knew I could very much ace. The small time things like that. Here in the Philippines, we love pageants. There are pageants here everywhere. So, there was a question again about diba, we went to the pageantry and the commercial modeling.
Yeah.
So these are the things I've done in the past na I just thought I would get the because they're quite lucrative, no, diba? We know that. But these are rackets. They're not something that comes regularly, and that's
Mm.
what I needed in my life more than anything. I needed stability. So, yung artista kasi, when you say artista, mostly, you act. I don't see myself acting for a living. Mostly in the Philippines pa, na you have to have a love team to make it. That's really not my thing. Heck, I don't even watch romantic comedies. And then you make me act in one.
Yeah. Okay. Delving more sa pagka-anchor mo.
Mhm.
Kasi now there's a lot of fake news, di ba? So, how does one discern like what to listen to? Kasi sa mga media outlets, of course, it's usually biased or there's a different agenda depending who's in charge or who's in control.
I suppose it's harder and harder talaga to combat fake news now kasi the people who make fake news are getting really better at it. They're
Yeah.
better at splicing videos.
Yeah, mga taken out of context, di ba? Then,
Yeah. And there's
minsan
even
exaggerated.
AI, and
Yeah.
people are so easily fooled nowadays because they're always on their phone. Not unlike before that people actually trusted the broadcasted news and the biggest networks. Now, parang they're the enemies pa. Like people say pa na, oh no, what's on social media is real because they're not controlled by corporations. But then again, literally anyone can post anything on social
Yeah.
media. Whereas us, people who actually work in news, we have laws that we follow. It'll really affect our jobs. We can get kicked out of our jobs. The kapisanan ng broadcasters ng Pilipinas, check really literally yung buong ano namin, yung buong framework, the systems, and then yun nga yung mga umeere. So, in a sense, kami yung may metrics, kami yung binabantayan talaga namin what goes out and what comes in na information and what's, yun nga, released to the public. But then, siyempre, yun nga, corporations, hindi mo rin may iwasan. At the end of the day, people are behind it. There will always be little bias.
Depends on sinong in power, di ba?
Yeah.
So, syempre.
Sabi nga ni Atom Araulio, let me quote you. I don't know if you'll ever be watching this. Let me quote you. Truth is always biased. It's always biased. Ang katotohanan,
But
lagi
there's
may
objective
pinapanigan
truth
yan.
naman and there's subjective truth.
Parang
di ba?
there's truth, di ba? Yung truth itself is always biased. So, it's just how you present it, di ba?
I think depends on perspectives. But I think
Yes,
truth
yes.
remains objective naman.
So, it's not really real yung total unbiased.
Yeah, I think human nature comes out.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're all still humans. We're all still all entitled to our opinions, but we're not entitled to
But,
facts
yeah.
and the truth.
It's just these days, it's hard to discern
Yeah.
kasi social media, Facebook, anyone
Yeah.
can post. So, it's hard to stay objective when it comes to news. So, okay. Ano pa? Other hobbies? Or
Other hobbies. And ako, I always say na I'm a boring person. Kasi nga,
stoic nga, di ba? When you
yeah,
said
talagang
stoic.
hindi ako palalabas eh. I like reading, I like watching.
What books have you been reading?
But I'm not the kind
Mga autobiography ba?
Yun nga
Or
no. Kasi people
novels?
always assume na, oh my gosh, she's such a big nerd. Siguro yung mga binabasa niya yung mga deep. No, I just watch Superman, Batman. That's also what I read. Hindi rin ako the type na would read law books sa spare time ko or business books. No, I don't even own one. Talagang I use it for leisure. I read about mythology, ganyan, Batman, Superman, fantasy, ganon. I just
Okay.
enjoy pretty much my life. It's just that my concept of enjoying is quite different than other people.
Okay. If time came where you have to report news that, let's say, you disagree with personally or against sa convictions mo, how do you address that? Do you tell them na, I won't do this because it's against what I stand for? Or how do you balance that? Like personal convictions mo?
I think I was
Because
quite
sometimes
new
it
pa
is
nun.
necessary to make a stand.
Yeah. I was quite new pa nun eh. I won't mention na lang. But there was an artista I was interviewing. It was about her new film that nag-premiere sa ibang country. But the film was about the war on drugs. It was about a victim of the war on drugs. So, I really wanted to ask kung how she felt personally as the actress who starred in the film about the war on drugs. She didn't want to comment. Sabi niya, it was, for me, it's a film, and there's a story there that needed to be told. So ako naman, I asked twice, and then when I saw na she didn't want to say, I dropped it. Ganon. Kasi I don't want my guests to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Lalo na if I ask and you don't want to answer, at the end of the day, she's not a government official. She's not entitled to give an answer for the public kasi she is an entertainer. So tama yung answer niya na, you know what,
Yeah.
I'm an actress, I did the movie because there's a nice story there about the family.
Yeah, so that's
I don't
it.
want to comment about the current political atmosphere because I'm not a public official and I respect that. So I let her go. I let the topic drop. And
Okay.
it's mostly, babalance mo lang talaga.
Yeah, kasi di ba, minsan may sellouts sa industry.
Well, I'm not gonna talk about my other colleagues na gumawa na nun. Pero hindi pa naman. So
Yeah,
far.
deal with the devil, di ba? Or
So far, hindi pa naman. For my case. Sana I don't get there. Kasi mahirap yun. That would be a very tricky situation.
kasi iba ma-jeopardize yung career nila, and of course they won't
Yeah.
make
Kami
a certain
naman though,
stand.
we're always asked to stay quiet na lang. Because we cannot really be unbiased nga. We will always have our own opinions. But, yun, the least you can do is be quiet about it. Diba? You don't need to paglaban mo if there's an issue at hand. Ganun. But you don't promote someone.
Okay. Who are some of your role models or
Role
mga
models.
idol mo sa media?
My closest friend would always be Tony Velasquez. Sir Tony talaga. He was the very first person who made me feel important. The very first day ko pa lang sa ANC. I was a graveyard anchor. He asked me all about myself. Tapos parang apparently he's like that to everyone. He's kind to everyone. Pero I felt like he was this newsroom dad. And I love how he has never ever made me feel small about being new, about not knowing how to do the things that the veteran anchors already know how to do. Never.
So he was a
never,
good mentor
yes, he has
to you.
never made me feel na hindi ako marunong. Because hindi na lang ako magbabanggit ng mga pangalan. So many senior anchors out there get a kick out of making the newbies feel like wala silang alam. I guess you know who you are.
What about like sila Noli De Castro or
Mabait si Kabayan.
Angelo
I used
Castro
to see him
Jr.,
every
ganun.
single day. Si
Oh, yeah.
Kabayan. Nakakatawa because he would try his best to distract me every time umere ako.
Okay.
Ayun.
What about outside Philippines? Like, di ba, si
Outside
Cronkite
Philippines.
or sila...
Yeah, nanonood din ako, pero I never really idolized them. Kasi nga, yun nga, lalo na before, na I didn't really think I would end up being a news anchor.
Okay. But lately, I noticed it's more watered down now, yung news. Or, I mean, less substance,
Probably
more on the
because-
hype, more on the buzz, di ba?
Probably because tapos na rin yung election season.
Yeah.
So it always leads up to that all the noise, and then afterwards it goes down. But lalo na pag presidential. Ganun. We'll see in a few more years. But mostly, ako naman, kung ganyan, kung medyo tahimik ang politics, okay lang. Maybe because medyo tahimik nga talaga yung politics, as long as the public service part is always there. Yung about the water, electricity, ganun, presyo ng gas, presyo ng bigas, ganun. As long as the people are always informed about that, okay.
What can you say now about the situation sa Philippines? Economically, politically, or general lang naman?
This landscape is not going to change in the next 12 years. Because probably after this term, what's slated is, VP Sara is going to run for president. And then, diba, talks are kalaban niya si Romualdez, speaker. And then, probably VP. I don't wanna, I don't wanna assume. Pero, I see this administration expanding for the next 12 years pa. So, I don't see things changing anytime soon.
What about economically? Do you see us booming pa?
Where we are trillions in debt. So, and we are still borrowing. I don't know how we're gonna be paying for all this. I really don't know. Pero I suppose, yun nga, all we can do is, with the money that we have already borrowed, we gotta put it into good use. But, yun nga, we are trillions in debt, you know. We have used up all our foreign reserves sa ngayon. So, I don't know. I thank God I'm not an official. I don't work in government.
Would you ever consider a position in politics?
There was a time I
Like,
was
di ba
asked.
si Lauren Legarda was
Yeah,
an
marami
anchor
rin
then.
naman. Yeah,
Marami
even Noli
naman.
De Castro became
Oh yeah,
VP
he
at
became
some
VP.
point.
Yeah,
Diba?
tama.
No.
No?
No, because it's different when you just want to help people. It's different when you actually know how to help people. And not everyone knows how to do that. Lots of people want to be able to help people. But I think, sino ba nagsabi nun? Si Vic Soto ata, hindi mo kailangan maging politiko para makatulong sa ibang tao. As long as you have the heart for it, magbigay ka na ng pera, mag-donate ka na lang. Because not everyone knows how to be a public official.
Yeah.
Because, diba, so many people are running for senators or congressmen. They don't know how to be one in the first place. They just know na, basta gusto ko tumulong sa bayan. There's so many other ways to do that. So, no.
Yeah. Focus lang sa strength mo or your craft. Okay. What about travels? You have time to travel or
Travels.
any favorite
The first
countries?
time I've ever been outside of the country was this year.
Saan?
Hong Kong. Lapit pa no?
Walang Europe or
Wala.
US?
I've been out of the country twice pa lang. Hong Kong, Taiwan. Di ba? Nalapit pa. And I've done that lahat this year lang. Kasi, yun nga, I have been to a beach once. My entire life. Just once. It was just last year.
Which one? Sa
Subic pa.
Subic.
Di man lang Bora, ganun. Pero, yeah, kasi it's not the traveling I hate. It's the travel time. It's sitting in a car, not doing anything for hours.
But siguro now, since you have more time, so
Maybe.
any mga dream places or bucket list?
I only have one. New Zealand. Kasi I'm the biggest fan of Lord of the Rings. So,
Okay.
pati yung phone case ko,
So
Lord
you've
of the
read
Rings.
all the books, seen all the films?
I have read the other books din of J.R.R. Tolkien, the Silmarillion, ganun. Children of Húrin. Anyway, yun. Kasi New Zealand, di ba, there's Hobbiton there. The small Hobbit houses. Yun lang. That's the only destination na gusto kong mapuntahan sa life ko. So long. I can die peacefully pag napuntahan ko na yun. Nataya na ako.
Okay.
Beaches, not so much kasi hindi naman ako marunong lumangoy in the first place. So, pang picture-picture lang.
So kahit Boracay, you haven't been
I
there?
have never been to Boracay.
Kahit sa Cebu lang
I
dun
have
sa
never been to Cebu.
Mactan? Okay.
Sinajudge mo na ako.
Okay. Sige. What about mga past relationships mo? Were you...
Past relationship. Ano ba yan? Tito boy.
But you've had, mga exes? Or what do you look
First
for
boyfriend was
in a
18
guy?
years old na ako noon. Very
College?
first boyfriend ko. Yeah, college pa yun. Kasi I wanted to kind of make sure na I was at least mature enough for an actual relationship. Hindi yung crush-crush.
But you envision yourself someday as a wife and a mother? Or can you picture
Maybe
yourself
when I was way, way younger. Now, kasi, parang
more career-oriented ka
yeah,
now?
maybe because I am still starting out. Lalo na I just haven't had a new home, di ba? Sa career ko. Maybe when I'm a little more settled with TV5. Maybe that's the only time I think about planning my life outside of work. Kasi sa ngayon, parang life is mostly just work. And then, there's the other parts. Yun lang sila, the other parts. Yun.
Okay. So if you'd have a partner, ano kayang personality type bagay sa'yo?
Okay.
Like,
Feeling ko walang makulit. Kasi, makulit ako eh. Ganun.
or
Preferably,
yeah,
someone...
ideal guy mo.
Mm-mm.
Ano,
Same siguro ng morals
submissive
in life.
ba?
Hindi grabe. No, hindi ako ganun. Ayaw ko nang nag-i-impose sa ibang tao. I hate doing that kahit sa kahit sa producers, writers. I don't like imposing on anyone. I let people be who they are. Ganun. Let them be as long as hindi na sila, they're not doing anything bad. um, ganun. Preferably, no. Actually, must pala na same kami ng morals.
Morals and values.
Oo, morals
Same
and values.
outlook.
Preferably, sa itsura kasi wala eh. Wala akong, I wouldn't say I have a type. Because I dated a small Arab guy, and then a
So
tall
you've dated
and
lahat?
then a tall Vietnamese dude, and then a chubby
So kahit pangit,
Filipino.
okay sa'yo? Or may standards naman
Grabe
siguro.
ka! Kahit pangit, judger. Pero parang it's mostly, I have to jive kasi.
More on personality.
Yes, more on personality.
Not really so much sa looks, but it would be a plus, gano'n.
Saka, yun nga, ayoko nga ng toxic life. Parang, when I say, I want a chill life, not so much an enjoy lang na life, kasi I don't go out din naman nga lagi. I'm not the kind of person na who gets bored na parang, ba't ganun, ba't ganito lang yung life natin? We have to go here, do this, ganun. I'm not
But
so
you want
active.
someone who's independent also. Kasi you're focused on your career.
So,
mahirap if may clingy partner ka.
Tama. Yeah. So, sana he has his own thing.
You have your own
good
thing.
at his own thing. And gano'n. And he lets me do my own thing and let me grow sa own thing. So, gano'n.
Sige, food. Are you a foodie ba? Food or favorite cuisine or...
Okay. Basta I'm the type of person na basta lahat ng tayo gusto masarap. Yun lang. Sarap na pagkain. I'm not so much into fine dining.
Spicy. Ayaw.
Spicy all the time. Every time na merong choice ng spicy, I go for spicy. I like Japanese food.
Mga
like
raw fish.
Filipino food in fairness. So, Filipino food is very malasa.
What about raw?
Yeah.
Mga kinilaw, ganun, sashimi.
Sa Filipino food, gusto ko siya. It's just that napapakanin ka. For the longest time kasi hindi ako kumakain ng kanin. That's the only thing I don't eat. Hindi ako nagda-diet. I have never gone on a diet in my entire life.
But you've never been fat.
I have never exceeded 100 pounds.
So, gifted metabolism.
Ganun. Kasi I just don't eat rice because wala siyang lasa. It's simple as that. So sabi nila, no, because isasabaw mo yung ulam sa kanin. Sabi ko, hindi kakainin ko na lang yung ulam. Mababawasan pa yung lasa ng ulam. Basta, pinaglalawan ko talaga yung walang lasa kasi yung rice. Pero I've never done it because I wanted to go on a diet. Kasi bata pa lang ako, I don't eat rice na. As in, grade school. I don't like rice. But I eat everything else. Like pasta, noodles, bread. I don't watch my weight. I've never looked at the calories and seen, I'm exceeding, walang ganun. I just don't like yung taste ng kanin.
Kahit may mga
pag fried rice,
mga
sige.
adobo, di ba? Bagay naman, mga saucy meals.
As long as may sahog, sige, pasado yung kanin. It's just white rice I don't eat. Kasi nga parang, it tastes like nothing. Ganon, yun lang.
Okay. Sige. Teka, kanina you mentioned you dated Arab. How many dates have you been on?
What, do we count yung mga one time? Siyempre, di ko na alam.
Ballpark lang or
Here's the thing. I actually like meeting new people. Kasi there's no downside to that.
yeah, you
There's
learn
really no
something, you
downside.
get perspectives.
You
Yeah.
you learn something new about whatever world they're in. Not so much about who they are, lalo na if you're not interested in that way, but yun nga, the world they come from. And then you learn something from that industry. So there's literally no downside to meeting new people. So before, pag may pinapakilala sa akin, I always say yes. Just so I can meet the person at least once and talk about ang industry nila. Ganun. But yun, it's hard to find someone you can actually click with.
Yeah.
Lalo na sa mundong to, may mga dating apps pa and the like, di ba?
You tried ba? Mga
I've never
Tinder?
been I've never tried. Well, first, kasi hindi ako techie. Pangalawa,
Diba may Tinder at may Bumble? But sa Bumble, yung babae dapat mag-message
Okay.
first.
So, alam ni Michael. So, he has been there. Nilaglag
May
yung
time
sarili.
naman na I experimented lang, syempre.
Actually, that's what I wanna
Walang
do.
magawa.
I wanna use another person's face. Pero kasi baka masabihin akong catfish. But I just wanna see yung algorithm niya. And
Social
how it
experiment.
and how it actually works. Kasi I am curious.
That's why I did try that kasi just curious how
So
things
does
play
it work?
out.
Yeah, how does it like choose people to connect you to?
Yeah. Because some say na they're just there to meet people, but some for hookups talaga yung
And then
purpose.
some people naman will say na, just enjoying, but actually they're actually ready to settle down. And
Yeah,
meron
some are
din
looking to
ganon.
settle, some are looking for pleasure.
Oo, iba rin. And yet, iba yung sinasabi nila. Ano pa?
Yeah, syempre.
For friendship lang.
Of course, yeah, people won't always be authentic naman sa
Yeah, that's the thing.
real agenda
That's
nila.
the thing sa social media. Like, ito sabi ng professor ko, people are always, at least 30% more attractive on social media.
Syempre, with
At
all
the very least.
with all the filters,
And for, best foot forward lagi, di ba?
Kasi projections yan eh.
Yeah,
Of course, you want
choose
to
your
project.
best photo. And then you edit it pa. Di ba? You can't really...
Na-try mo yan, like, you're about to meet someone na imagine mo,
Ibang
ganito
iba,
yung
ganon.
profile.
When I finally... Wala naman,
But
so
in
far.
person, pangit pala. Or,
Ikaw ba may hugot na naranasan mo na ba?
yeah, actually, before.
Really?
Pero,
So someone has
syempre.
actually let you down na parang you like
I
the
think it
photo,
happens
and then
naman.
when you finally met her, like,
Yeah, na-scam.
what scam? What scam? Ako
Yeah.
hindi pa naman kasi nga I've never really tried that dating thing. Pero yun nga, pag mayroong pinapakilala sa akin.
Sige.
So far, pretty much the same naman. Or maybe I just have low expectations of everyone.
Sige. Okay.
Ganun eh, no?
Sige, going back to your career, what's the best time sa career mo? Like, major achievement. And anong worst na parang na-depressed ka or na-let down ka?
Well, the best time would be now.
Yeah, of course, with the new job opportunity.
Last week lang ako nakalipat eh. So, very, very thankful sa very, very warm welcome ng TV5 sa akin. Back in ANC, it would also be yung first time I was hired. I felt like, kasi dun, I'll always be thankful sa ABS because sila ang gumawa kay Nikki de Guzman. They made Nikki de Guzman. I'm pretty much just Mary from high school and college, diba? So, Nikki de Guzman, the anchor, was born in ANC. So, yun yung mga best moments ko when I started out. Worst would, of course, be the shutdown in the COVID pandemic. But then, during the COVID pandemic kasi, dun ako nag-start mabigyan ng opportunity to grow with ANC. That was the first time na I got to try regular interviews. The first time I got to, mga annotate, and then I started interviewing mga officials na sa health sector, lalo na COVID, ganun, and experts from different countries pa, ganun. So, doon ako nag-grow during the COVID pandemic, actually. So, naging avenue ko siya for growth. Yeah. But at the same time, it was also the lowest point kasi nga, everyone can feel the company struggling.
Ito, what are your thoughts on afterlife? Like, what do you think happens after we die?
Well, I'm a Catholic, so I believe in heaven. I think heaven is whatever you believe it to be. It's supposed to be paradise, and we have different conceptions about what paradise is. So, ayun. I don't say na I'm looking forward to dying, but we are dying every single day. So, dun tayo lahat papunta. And, yeah, I believe na at the end of the day, yun nga, you have this time given to you by God. It's the best gift He can give you, your time here on earth. Time to enjoy and decide for yourself what you want to do. And then afterwards, yun, you get to join Him there. And life is supposed to end here and just continue there, always happy. It's pretty much that simple to me. I don't overthink it. Kasi ang pinoproblema ko pa yung time ko here.
Okay. In your profession, marami bang, well, of course, there are toxic elements in any workplace, but are there times that it gets really toxic? May backstabbers ba? Ganun.
Sobrang dami.
Or mga plastic?
Nagulat ako.
Siyempre, that
Nagulat
happens.
ako. Ang dami pala. Lalo na the first time I got my job. It was graveyard anchor kasi.
Or
First
maraming
week ko-
gusto mag-pull down sa'yo.
First
Diba?
week ko palang sumalang. I heard one of my, I don't wanna say, basta mga kasama ko sa newsroom, they thought I was asleep. Sabi. Pati ba naman sa balita, pageant lang, kung sino maganda, siya makakakuha. And ako, ayoko kasi ng away. And it's hard. It's hard when araw-araw mo kasama, ka-team mo, yung may kaalitan ka. You know, you don't wanna have a feud with someone you work with every single day. So I let it pass. Pero sa loob-loob ko, parang, am I just here for for how I look? Parang did this person even ask me where I graduated? That I graduated with Latin honors?
May mga
Parang,
preconceived notions or
yeah,
narratives.
parang you look at me and you judge me as someone who is just pretty. Parang, and back then, I didn't have anything to show din kasi I didn't have experience sa newscasting. Turns out, sinika lang sa akin. This person pala, audition din for the slot nung may opening ng anchor. This person is a long-time producer in ABS-CBN who has waited for so long for that opportunity to become an anchor. But then, yun nga, I come in, and I snatch the opportunity from
Inggit.
everyone else.
May mga nainggit.
Kasi nga, here's this newbie na wala namang background whatsoever sa news. Diba? And then, yun nga, those who auditioned pala were long-time, writers, producers, experts in their fields, analysts. But, at the end of the day, the business is broadcasting on TV. If you cannot deliver the news properly, no matter how brilliant you are in here, if you can't deliver it, if you stutter, diba? At the end of the day, you're not gonna get the job. You're meant to write, diba? You're meant to speak sa sarili mong platform, but not on live TV.
Yeah.
That's what my co-anchor told me. Sabi niya, don't feel bad about it. Okay, whatever you hear, at the end of the day, you got the job. It's for you. And many years later, 5 years later, I'm still in the industry and I'm being given more opportunities. So ako naman, I'm way past that, way past doubting myself. I would always say there's so many things pa I have to learn, but that's okay. I'm already proud of the things I know, I've learned, and for the things that I don't know yet, I'll get there. Ganun lang. I'll get there. I'll learn those things one day.
Okay. So you remain strong and resilient and
There's
optimistic.
so many people who try to make you feel small kasi about yourself. The trick is you never let them. Parang, these are just words at the end of the day. They're words.
So hindi ka masyado na affected.
No, hindi ako madaling ma-offend. Buti na lang. Hindi ako balat sibuyas, as they would say.
Okay.
Maybe it's because I have always liked myself noon pa.
So you're confident in yourself, in what, in
Parang
your
I have-
abilities.
I'm the kind who has never compared din myself to other people.
So wala kang inferiority, ganon,
Wala.
or
Parang
insecurities, di ba?
Yes, parang
You're not an
There
insecure
will
person, so
yes.
hindi ka ma-affected masyado.
there are always going to be people prettier, people smarter, people taller, people speak better, diba? At some point, everyone's going to be, there's someone out there who's going to be better than you in all aspects, in every aspect there is. There's someone better than you. So, ikaw naman, you just look at yourself, and if you look at yourself in the mirror, is it the person you like? If the answer is yes, then you're okay. Ganun lang sa akin yun. As long as you like who you are, and you see saan pa kaya ako pwede mag-improve. Ganun lang, without comparing yourself to anyone. That's how you live life. Para kasi pag nainggit ka, it never stops. Once
Okay.
natubuan ka ng envy, you're gonna be envious your entire life.
Or how do you go about your relationships? Like, are you that type na if someone betrays you, you cut ties, or you forgive, you give chances,
I give
or
second chances maybe because I believe na
sa friendship, or even maybe
friendship,
Potential
relationship, or ano,
like
yeah.
if someone cheats or betrays you,
Ako,
backstabs
ano,
you, anong approach mo?
I believe kasi people learn.
So
If
you're
you do it
patient naman
once,
towards people.
As long as you do not make the same mistake, sige. Kasi even in work, ganun, sinabi sa amin yun na, you're going to make a lot of mistakes, but you're not supposed to make the same mistake twice. Okay? You can make lots of different other mistakes.
So if walang growth or
But-
walang learning curve,
Oo.
walang
Oo,
progress,
pag nagkamali ka
then
nga,
maybe it's
okay
time
lang
to
yan.
cut ties. Ganun.
Well, if you continue to repeat the same
Yeah.
mistake, parang, wala na to. It means this person is set in his ways. Ganun.
Hindi repentant.
Oo,
Or,
hindi
diba?
repenta. Wala.
Not willing to change.
Yeah. Kung ganun. Sorry,
So
dude.
toxic na yan. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, sige. I think we covered a lot na today.
We have covered so much.
Yeah.
A
Sige.
lot.
Okay, so lastly, siguro, a parting message to whoever might be watching this.
Ano ba? People
Your
who-
message to the world,
to the world.
or to whoever.
I don't think I'm influential enough to give a message to the world.
You might be surprised, but yeah.
Okay. To those who want to enter the broadcasting industry, let's start with that. Patience lang. Some people, they're given opportunities earlier, but ako rin naman, I saw na as long as you show up every time, you give it your very best, you'll get there. One way or another. Pwedeng behind the camera, pwedeng in front of the camera, basta you'll get there. As everything can be learned as long as you push yourself, aangat ka. There's somewhere you're gonna go. And then for everyone else, ako naman ganun. Things are always going to be okay. You're gonna get through anything. Kasi the key to living life is knowing which things you can change and which things and how you adapt to the things you cannot change. Just two things. So, pag nalaman mo na the things you can change and you can control, you do your best to control that sa life mo. But then, at the end of the day, I don't believe that you control your life. That's
Yeah,
not.
there are things beyond our control.
Yeah, because there are people who brainwash themselves into thinking, no, you make your own destiny. To an extent, yes, but there's so many things out of your control
Yeah.
out there. And the best thing you can do is control how you react to it. That's
Yeah.
all. So at the end of the day, you're gonna be okay. Yun.
Okay, so Thank you for your insights today.
Yes, thank you
Yeah.
for having me here and for the tea.
Yeah. Thank
For
you.
the tea and all in every sense.
Yeah. Salamat.
For the tea.
Very casual talk. So, thank you again.
Casual ba yun? Napunta na sa love life. Napunta na sa hot
Yeah,
seat.
very random set of questions.
Yeah, sobrang random.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.